for the great panel we had about future of work and digitization. And as Carolina said, with resilience, we also reinvent or add something to our forum this time. So this is the first time we are doing it, and we felt that especially with COVID going on, the digitization, globalization, we have so much on our plate. And I think this topic of resilience is one which is more important than ever, and a skill that you need. And we are really happy that we build it into our forum and workshop, this part as well. And I have now the honor also to introduce Amina Kata and Maria Luisa, who are both coming from our network. We know them already since 2 years approximately, and saw them reinventing and relaunching their careers since we first met. And I have to say, how they developed and flourished during the time is amazing. And so I would like to first introduce Amina. Amina Kata has relaunched her career 2 years ago, having found her purpose in mediation and resilience training. And she's now helping business clients to solve conflict situations at work. And she's also coaching women who just have returned to work after maternity leave, because this is a time that requires high level of resilience, especially now. And then we are also having Maria Luisa Engel. She brings 20 years of corporate experience with her as an employee, and she also relaunched her career. She supports individuals and organizations in the areas of leadership, creativity, and resilience, using neuroscience and art as a catalyst of change. So welcome, and the stage is yours. You put together a workshop for resilience, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much for this introduction and for inviting me. I'm Maria Luisa, and the purpose of this panel session about the resilience is to give you an overview of what resilience is, why is it important, and also to give you some practical tools that you can immediately apply on your day-to-day life. For one of those tools, you will need something to write. And we will just jump directly into it. I'm going to share my screen. So let's explore what is resilience. And resilience comes literally from Latin language, which and the word is resilientem, which means elasticity. But this is not the definition we want to use now. So in today's life, we have a more appropriate definition, which is the capacity to remain flexible in mind, actions, and feelings when facing disruption or change, so that we emerge from adversity stronger and more capable. And the first thing we see here is the word flexible, flexibility. It means, like the chameleon in the picture, it's the capacity to adapt in an intelligent way to the environment. So resilience doesn't mean to stay rigidly at the hurricane or playing superhero. No. And also, resilience implies always a learning journey where you integrate the experience you just made so that you at the end have emerged as a better person, more prepared for future challenges. So it shows also that resilience is not going back exactly to the same starting point where you were before the event. But in terms of resilience, why is it so important, Amina? Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, of course. Hi. Why do we need resilience? Well, we're not only in the midst of a pandemic and in a second lockdown, which has just begun, which is all challenging us on all levels, But as we've just heard, we're also going through a big global transformation in terms of digitization and the future of work. So that being said, I think it's really fair to say that we're all experiencing situations of uncertainty, of insecurity, and even anxiety on some level. And I really want you to know that this is normal. We're experiencing drastic changes at the moment. Nothing is the way it was. And as we go through these changes, we typically move through various stages, which are shown here on this change curve. And it usually starts with denial, then comes anger, and then we really go down, and at the lowest point, we're at the point of depression. And then when we come up, we go into bargaining. Yes, maybe we can do it, maybe we can't. And then in the end, we are finally at the point where we can accept the new status quo. So back to your question, why do we need resilience? Resilience is so important because your level of resilience determines how graceful you're able to move through these stages. But how do you build resilience? In order to build resilience, Maria Luisa and we would like to introduce you to a simple 3-step process, which is awareness, action or acceptance, and nurture. So awareness comes first, of course, because you need to know how you're feeling and why, so you can do something about it. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say you receive a nasty email or a text message from your colleague or from a friend, from your partner, or from your mother-in-law, and you get upset. So now the first thing you want to do is take a step back and ask yourself, is it really the message that just upset me? Or is it the fact that I didn't eat, I didn't sleep well, I feel sick, I feel unhappy about everything that's just going on, and this message is just the tip of the iceberg. And now I'm projecting all of my negative feelings onto the situation. Does that sound familiar? So yeah, it is important to check in first and to create awareness. And in order to do that, you can ask yourself, what's bothering me? How am I feeling? What do I need? And am I projecting or overreacting? The important factor is most stress is subjective. So this means whether you find something stressful or not depends on you and your situation. So what's stressful to you might not be stressful to me. So once you've identified the situation and you created some sort of awareness around the event that's bothering you, like the text message that you received, then you can move on to the next step, which is either action or acceptance.
Thank you. Now let's move to the second step. Yes, and I want to show you, to share a quote with you, which is an older quote, but it's of current relevance. And it's called the Serenity Quote, and probably many of you have read it already. So it says that, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So it shows us that basically two kinds of things happening to us, or situations. On the one side, you have the things you can change and you can control to some extent. And then you have the things that you cannot control at all. So if we have a situation that you can control, you can apply the problem-solving skills that you have available. Amina, what could be some good problem-solving skills?
Yes, sure. Let's use the same example. So you just received a message that really upset you. But when you're stressed and you're angry, then you would most likely either attack that person and send an angry message back, or over apologize to make the problem go away as quickly as possible. So first of all, you really if you really want to use good problem solving skills, you need to calm yourself, because you can't think and strategize clearly when you're upset. So really take a step back, take a breather, sleep on it, and then take smart and empowered action. Good problem solving skills. Yes, that's one of my favorite topics. So in that case, that could look like that you think about the issue and define your goal. And then you make an assumption about the other person's goal. And the more information you have about the other person and what their agenda is, the better, because then you can prepare and then go to the next step and discuss it with the other person and start bargaining. Or you may decide not to do that at all and fix the issue on your end. And you could, for example, improve your communication, you could improve your time management, you could delegate part of the work or partner with somebody. You could also seek help. And last resort, develop an exit strategy. I want you to remember that leaving the situation is also an option. So I hope that answers the question, Maria Luisa.
Definitely, some very good skills and things that we can do. If there's a situation that you cannot control, like this pandemic, there are still some things that you can do. What you can do is you try to change your perception. And this is what we coaches call the inner work. It means to change something within you. So for example, trying to find a job in these challenging times during COVID can be like kind of frustrating because there are less jobs, everything has to do online. And so on time, this is undermining your energy. So there are some kind of things that you can do. But when you are, for example, let me ask you a question. When you are in a traffic jam, and you're sitting there and you cannot do anything and you have to go to an appointment, but nothing is moving, and you start getting angry about the other drivers or about the cause of the accident, ask yourself this question and answer it by yourself. Whose energy is being drained? Yours, nobody else. So you're wasting energy for something that you cannot change. And you need energy for the things you can change. And this is important, that you learn how to emotionally self-regulate and have an intelligent energy management. So it's the same example when you forget to charge your smartphone in the night. When you get up in the morning, it's totally empty. You have to charge it before you can use it. And something similar happens with us. So now, how do we do this? How do we change our perceptions, our beliefs? Well, this is something that, because you have created awareness before in the step number 1, you can revisit your beliefs, your attitudes, your perceptions. How do I respond to certain events, so that you pay attention to what you do and what your thinking patterns are. And so you practice acceptance, because there is no sense in wasting and investing energy in the things you cannot change. So what kind of things can you do instead? Now, first of all, don't take it personal. No, the traffic jam didn't happen because it wanted to bother you, or the virus didn't have the intention to bother you. Things are like they are. So accept them. What you can do is you hone your skills, or take some online classes, do pro bono work for experience, network. And since you are here, you're already doing it. So you can revise and change your priorities if necessary. But the one thing you always can do is you can control your thoughts. And your thoughts can create your reality. So you can control your thoughts and the way you treat yourself. And this leads us to the third of our 3-point strategy, Amina.
Sorry, I had to unmute.
Okay.
Yes, the third point is nurture. And that's always my favorite. I personally practice a lot of self-care, and I always make sure I nurture and nourish myself. And it's very important to make sure that your basic needs are met. What do I mean by that? I mean, you should always eat well, food that gives you energy, drink enough water, stay hydrated, and especially because your brain needs water so it can function properly. So remember, your brain, you need your brain to make smart problem solving decisions. So water can help you with that, and make sure you sleep and take breaks and relax, get fresh air, spend time in nature, and really do things that you enjoy, meet your friends, and really be mindful of the content and the media that you consume, and also who you spend time with. Avoid the things that are draining you. So, of course, this list sounds pretty obvious, I know, but how often do we make the mistake and neglect these simple things? I know that I do sometimes if I don't pay attention, and then I slip for a while and then I get back into my routine. So this is really just a reminder for you that a healthy routine will boost your resilience because you lower your stress level, and this way you become less reactive and much better at problem solving. So, but there's always a but. How am I supposed to relax and enjoy if there's this huge problem that's causing me to suffer and that's making me depressed, like the COVID situation, and that I can't do anything about? This big question also takes us to the last part, the practical one. And there are two tools that we're going to share with you. And the first one is breathing. Breath is such a powerful instrument. And here's one simple example. Mothers, when they give birth, they're being told that they have to relax, even though they're in intense pain. And if they resist or even contract, then they will only make the entire process more painful and even dangerous. And the only tool that they give us during birth is breathing. That's how powerful it is. And the concept, this entire concept is also true for stressful situations that we can't control. So really, we have to relax and keep breathing, even though it's uncomfortable and we don't know what's going to happen. Because if we resist and we worry, as we just learned, we only drain our own energy. So Maria Luisa, since you're an expert in the neuroscience and biology of change and resilience, of course, can you tell us a bit more about breath work and why it's so effective?
Yes, and it has a lot to do with neuroscience and how our brain and body are designed. Because we all have the same devices, and this breathing tool is something that we can use 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. But it's not about breathing, just like breathing. No, it's about a particular way of breathing. And when we do it properly, it means deeply and slowly and paying attention. There is a part of our nervous system that gets activated, and this part of the nervous system, which is called the parasympathetic, it's responsible that we regenerate, that we calm, and our brain function improves because we create a positive energy field. So it's about paying attention of our breathing, and as I said, deeply and slowly. And I'm going to guide you through an exercise. I'm going to explain the steps. You can always use it, and it doesn't have to be hours of breathing. No, you can take 30 seconds. You can take 1 minute, 2 minutes. And anytime you need a sense of calm, or anytime you want some clarity, or anytime you want to take a decision, and it's the practice and the repetition was it's gonna create a higher resilience base. So you can practice in times of calm when you don't need it, so that you are better prepared when you need it. and this will work this way. I'm going to guide you to breathe in and out. And every time I breathe in and I breathe out, I will count from 1 to 5. Okay? And I will ask you to close the eyes. And there is also a reason for that. And the reason is as our brain, 85% of the information that the brain processes is visual. We are hardwired for visual information. So it means when you close the eyes, you're closing the door to 85% visual distractions. And so we want to focus. And we're doing this exercise now to prepare you to focus your attention for the second part of the exercise that will help you to gain clarity. So then I would ask you to close their eyes and to sit comfortably and breathe in deep and slowly. Breathe in and out deep and slowly, paying attention. And now breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue breathing deep and slowly. And now take a conscious breath and gently open your eyes, and you're back, relaxed and focused. So, and I will give up to Amina to continue to the next part of the exercise.
Wow, thank you, Maria Luisa. I feel completely different now. It's wonderful. And how effective it is. Such a small exercise. Okay, guys, now last exercise. We will now get into the last part, and it's called the energy tank. You need a pen and a paper. And the purpose here is to create a simple overview, or a simple picture of those things that you can control and which you can. So the things that you can control and the ones that you can't control. So you can then take appropriate action. Ooh, I had to refocus for a second. This meditation whacked me out of it a little bit, but I'm back. Okay. So this exercise doesn't take long, and you can use it every time you need some clarity. So at first, draw a container that looks like a tank. Oops. And then draw a line which marks your current energy level. And the energy level can be, you just have to check in with yourself. It can be at 30%, 50%, 70%. So whatever you may feel like at the moment. And then the lower part of the tank will be filled with words. And these words will describe all the things that give you energy. And these are your resources. And now the empty area inside the tank is filled with the things that drain you, or things that are missing from your life, things that you need. And these are your stress factors or stressors. And lastly, outside of the tank, you can write down all of the things that affect you, but which you can't control. So you can do this exercise right now for yourself and start writing down words that come into your mind. But we will also do the exercise here on the screen, so you can get some inspiration and also peek if you don't know, or if you get lost. So let's think of some of the things that we can't control. That would be, for example, COVID, so everything that you can't control goes outside of the tank. That's all these external factors like COVID, travel restrictions, the job market at the moment. The weather would go there, but the weather is kind of nice at the moment, so I don't think we have reason to complain here. Okay, so now let's move on to the stressors, the things that you can control, but that are draining you. For example, conflict, problematic friendships, work relationships, depression, not enough time with friends, yeah, general things that you don't have time for, that you wish you had, things that you need, that you could control. And I think it's tricky sometimes to differentiate between the things that we can control and the ones that we can't. But that's why it's good to have this this graphic tool. Yes, and last, let's collect all the things that make you feel good, that give you energy. They all go inside of your tank. For example, cooking, and we're so lucky that Maria Luisa is an artist. She knows how to draw. That's really fun.
You're a little bit too fast for me.
Yes, I know. But I think the screen got stuck and then I couldn't see what you were drawing.
Okay.
But now I can see it.
Okay.
Yes, things that give you energy, like family, cooking, music. Music is always healthy for me, and spending time in nature. Exercise, yoga, meditation, everything that calms your nervous system could be a resource. So you see, this is a very simple but effective exercise which creates awareness and which gives you clarity in which areas of your life you can take action and in which areas you should practice patience and acceptance. Yeah.
And also, when you do this, I mean, every time you do this, you will get a different picture. You don't have to draw, you just can write the words, but it gives you an idea to differentiate the things that you cannot control from the things you can control but bother you. And so you can practice your problem solving skills in the empty part of the tank. So that you really focus your energies to the things that you really can change.
Yes, and I hope you enjoyed this exercise, and I hope it was maybe a little inspirational or eye-opening for you. And this already concludes our session.
It's been fantastic, Amina and Maria Luisa. So, well done. What a nice graphic. So please keep that for us. We can do some screenshots, but this is a nice exercise we did together. I love Patrick's addition. Love, smile. We had also kindness can be an energizer when we, are kind to each other. Yeah, such a great practice to do at the end of a day, I think also already with a breathing exercise. I was already like coming down, and we had quite a forum to organize, etc. So that helps already. This breathing thing I can't emphasize enough. Sometimes I also use it with little situations, even sometimes on the tennis court, if somebody teases me or just I'm behind, I breathe, take a deep breath, and then I go back again, and then I'm a bit fresher and more focused. Really tiny things, and it doesn't take a lot of time. So thank you really, really very much for this exercises, for the tips, and as Patrick says, wonderful angels you are.
I wanted to add something. We're gonna give the template of this tank exercise so that everybody can get it. You just can print it and you can use it anytime you want. And we're gonna give you also the what you just did. Well, we prepared a nicer one with colors so that you can use it as an example.
Yes, and I also wanted to add, since we're running out of time, that if you have questions, that you can always email us and we'll respond to you privately and confidentially, of course, and we will leave our contact details in the chat. But you can also get them from Brita and Carol.
Yeah, please add them here, and we are happy to share the contacts and or introduce again. So
Rita, I would like to jump in and just say that resilience and the way Amina and Maria presented is one of those core competencies, core skills that no university gets to teach you. But at the same time, it's the foundation of everything else you want to do, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to show up tomorrow at your family, at your commitment, at your new project, at your daily work? It also, it always should start from the inside out, not the other way around. And this is a habit. It's this is not something that someone teaches you math, you learn it, and if you don't need to practice it, you just memorize it and you know math. This is something that it only works when it becomes habitual, when you actively and deliberately work to strengthen that competence. And you can, it's not only that you can transfer it to any setup, it's also that it can help you in so many ways. That conflict you've been having at work, to manage it, that traffic light, that job, I don't know, I'm so excited with Amina and her work, and Maria, of course, but I just felt the need to jump in.
It's a very good point. I think Maria Luisa has a practice that takes 21 days. It takes 21 days for us to remember things, right? So practice, practice, practice.
And we also have the pleasure that they started with us Resilience Challenge Friday, Resilience Friday. So look it up. So today was your Resilience Friday, kind of. Next Friday will come another one on LinkedIn, Facebook. So watch out. They always have new things to share. Is there anything you have still as questions? Otherwise, we would like to also get into one or two things before we close today. We would like to share also some dates, our next forum, etc.
I would like to say, Britta and Caroline, thank you for organizing this. It's always great to be on the forum and learn from all the high energy people, and we get a lot of positive energy to move on. So thank you to both of you, and thank you to all the people who have shared their wonderful experiences and ideas here.
You as well, Nima, for always being so supportive, and all the people giving the energy here, whether speaking, non-speaking, the powerful force that we feel across the screen virtually as well. Thanks so much for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So could we briefly share again our presentation, Carolina, because we would really like to share a few more dates, because this forum and workshop comes also with four additional sessions. The first one, also virtual. The first one will be on November 27th about personal branding. And there we really look into more the CV, LinkedIn review, because this is a very practical one. A lot of you were asking about, and we couldn't go into it in depth. We just covered it in personal branding, but yeah, there we will really more work and give you examples what to do, how to not do it. Then in December we are talking about networking strategies and also a mock-up interview, so which we can prepare you for your next interview round. And then moving into the next year, digital upskilling and reskilling comes up on the 29th of January. And then hopefully future of work, of the workforce and digitization post-crisis. Let's keep our fingers crossed that by then we are able to see each other again or have an on-site. And we already fixed a date for our next forum. We don't know yet if it's full virtual or if it's going to be on site here in Frankfurt. So they're both cons and pros virtually. It's great to have people from all over the world here joining. I can't, really emphasize that enough. It's such a great energy and this different perspectives culturally, gender-wise, background-wise. I mean, it's amazing. I'm really impressed. And so it's going to be the 28th of May, 2021. Really put that down into your agenda already, hopefully. So, and we will definitely reinvent ourselves again and add something new, so you will not be bored to listen to us. And then finally, we had Christina Baumann, who is the managing director of Fitch Solutions in Frankfurt, and is a friend and client of mine for a long time. And as you know, we are working with Fitch, Fitch credit rating, but also Fitch Solution, which is the data end, financial data end and financial solution end of Fitch. We are helping them to set up their credit pass returnship program, which is 10 weeks paid, one shouldn't call it internship, but it's difficult to to describe it otherwise, but it's a paid program for you to get boosted, reskilled, work on project basis within Fitch Group, to get ready to then be potentially hired by Fitch Rating or Fitch Solutions. Really watch out on our website. You find the details about the program. You can apply to it. You can come to us if you think this would be for you. It's a new concept here in Germany. It's known in the US, in the UK. The concept, it's as I said, it's a period of 10 to sometimes 16 months. Goldman Sachs was reinventing this program to get back their women who left the workforce, to get them back and, you know, give them a bit of time to recap and then being again in the corporate world. And we also had an interview with one of the alumni and the initiator within Fitch Solutions. You could find on our website, or we can share with you if you want to have more insights. This is what I also want to share with you at the end. Carolina, do you still have something to add here? We had a long day, a long workshop, but it's been amazing, I have to say.
I mean, the most important thing is that that gives the most energy. I have my tank somewhere, yes, here. The bottom part is the energy we get from everyone. Always very, very grateful to everyone here, whether participant or mentors, or, you know, mentors becoming mentees, vice versa, who, you know, never says no to us every time we ask something when we run this forum. I think this is our 4th official, but 5th or 6th one now that we run. So everyone stay strong. It's up to you, or it's up to us rather, on the next step. So take the tools, methodology, sharing forward. I definitely will take mine as well. And if you still want to ask a few questions, we'll keep the room ongoing a bit for a bit of informal networking. For those who want to ask some questions or interact, please feel free. For those who need to run, please feel free as well. So thanks again for everyone being here and for being so graciously sharing.